Hey everyone, welcome to Hope for Survival YouTube. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the new subscribers. Thanks for being a part of this crazy journey we call preparedness. And I wanted to do something a little different this evening, and I'm happy to have Brother Otis join me on a short notice request. And we're each going to provide the task that I sent to him, and I'll do it too, is provide the 5 best and 5 worst decisions made since starting preparing or prepping. So, Brother Otis, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Finally getting a little bit of rain, and we could sure enough use it. And it's been a good Sunday. We're doing good. We went to services today, and then went and visited folks, and we're having a good day.
Oh, good. You realize this is I think this is like the first time that we've done a YouTuber that we weren't in the same place.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because we usually do it face to face when we're together. This is the first time we've done it with the aid of all the technology.
Yeah.
It took me a minute. I had to go get 3 neighbors to come over and show me how to do it.
But oh, dude, that's too funny, man. You don't have your wife riding a bicycle to power the lights, do you?
I didn't really want to, but
That's usually how I'm used
that's
to
a little
see.
creepy. So
Yeah, I only know of 2 occasions that you had lights on, tonight and when I came by to visit you.
yeah. I don't like to waste the light bulbs.
Yeah. Who knows? You might have to use them for flotation devices someday.
Exactly. Or take the
Yeah.
filaments out and use them for fire starter.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, to clarify again, you're the guest, so I'll let you go first and do your 5 best decisions made since starting your preparedness journey. You want to do
Okay.
the 5 best or 5 worst? Which one you want to go first?
We'll do best first.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm sitting here and me and the wife are watching a Western, and I get a text from Brother B, and it's what's your 5 best and 5 worst decisions, and I'm like, I don't know, so I did this really fast, but I hope that somehow it will help benefit others.
Like
So
that.
my first one, I considered my prepping journey to have begun when I was just a child.
Yeah.
Because my whole life I've tried to even with my parents, everything we've tried to be real self-sufficient in our whole way that we lived. So my first best decision, and the one I hold most sacred, was getting saved. That way I know no matter what happens where I'm going to end up.
Yep.
So to me, that is my number one.
Yep.
I give my life to the good Lord.
That's a good one.
My second one is being part of something, a group, etc., something bigger than just me, like Hope for Survival, church, the family mutual assistance group that we have.
Yeah.
Because you can't be a lone wolf. You gotta have friends and family and everything to do this journey. So I consider that my second best decision. And then my third one is something that I think a lot of people neglect, and that's training. We train and practice the skills that we talk about. I use my equipment. We're all the time playing with all kinds of stuff. We go to the expos. We try to learn. We try to practice. We go to different type of learning events, and we train. I have taught events too, but I'm talking about just me going to learn.
Yeah.
We've gone to all kinds of training events. I've been to 1 or 2 of your events. So I consider that a very big decision, to take the time and a very important decision to go and practice and learn. You can go buy all the gear you want, but if you don't get it out of the box and use it, what have you accomplished? You don't even know if it works, or if you know how to make it work. Number 4, and this was kind of a godsend, I think. I don't know if you remember when we were at the Kentucky Expo.
Yeah.
The whole genre kind of changed just a little bit at that event, to where there was so much more natural and homeopathic than I had ever seen at these expos. And I've been going to these things 25 years probably.
That's where we hooked up with Dr. Amanda and Jeremy.
Yes, Dr. Amanda Cartwright, yes, and Suzanne Shires and all them. Yeah. And there were so many people teaching on homeopathic and natural self-sufficient medical care. And how many classes did we take? Like 6.
Yeah. And
then I have tried, and I've never seen another event that had that many like there was at that one. But I've tried now to always hit them at every one we go to. And we just went to one back in May, and we were able to. They had 2 that were available, so we did those. But I'm learning more about natural and self-sufficient, medical self-care, even if it isn't just homeopathic, just everything you can do to be self-sufficient when it comes to your own health care, now or if post-grid. So we've tried to learn how to be our own advocate while there is a grid now, and then even more so if there isn't. But we're trying to go more natural homeopathic. The 5th thing, I have tried to learn to teach others, and I have taught some classes. Yeah. And then one of the things that I have learned from you is to always be learning, always try and put more in my brain than I can on my back the older I get. Yeah. So in everything I do now, every aspect, I try to learn. That's what I was sitting there with Sherry, and I was like, so what experiment is Butch doing, or Brother B doing on me tonight with this quest? What else is he doing? I'm trying to think about that plus these answers all at the same time. And then I went ahead and did a 6th one on best, because my wife is totally on board. So she is one of my best decisions I have ever had. She is on board with the decisions and the preparedness just as much as I am. She participates like the expo we went to back in May. We divided it up. You go to these classes, I go to these classes. She takes pictures, she takes notes, she's all into it, and she practices it when we get home.
Yeah, we hooked up because of her.
Exactly. Yeah, she took your class
way back in the day,
like 15 years ago, and she's like, "You have got to meet this guy." I was like, "What are you talking about?" No, you have got to go take his class. You need to cancel your next one and go take his class. Like, okay, if it's that big of a deal, and it was a God thing that he put us together, man. I guarantee. Yeah, but we're brothers now, so.
Yep.
But so tell me, what are some of your best decisions?
My number 1 is the same as yours.
Imagine that.
That being the faith side and being saved and a follower of Jesus Christ.
Yep. Amen.
I kind of tied that in with surrounding myself with strong-minded, moral, high-quality people with integrity and commitment to others and the preparedness. Most of them are believers. However, I do have non-believers who are equally committed to the same goals in preparedness.
Yeah.
And that is...
which is kind of about like what my number 2 was.
Yeah, that statement is important when I get down to number 5.
Yeah.
All right. When you surround yourself with good people and you're constantly doing checks on one another, right? They are kind of your guardrails to keep you within the parameters of the direction of a objective or objectives. that being the preparedness goal. And much of that came about uh, from the decision to start Hope for Survival 7, 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, soon after starting preparedness, determining paths I wanted to follow and paths to avoid, as well as people to avoid, basically of vetting, essentially. Uh, there may be, there may have been people who could offer really, really good stuff in the preparedness world, but uh, there may have been times where there was an environment that I didn't want to put myself in.
Mm.
Um, from a
That's that gut feeling.
Yeah, which I've shared with you before. A couple of years ago, I pulled out of doing
An event, yeah.
several events I was going to teach at that my gut was telling me to um, pull out of them. Number three, selecting a home location that offered the best terrain for a security plan that I believed feasible for a civilian mindset and also defendable terrain.
Mm.
That was a God thing,
Mm.
how it's all played out. Number four, not being swayed or unmotivated by negative voices and negative attitudes.
Mm. That's a
Mm.
good one.
Number five, which kind of connects to number one, this is a biggie. Accepting the reality that the neighbor around us will likely be the people we will work with during any type of disaster or collapse.
Mm.
It's kind of that saying that a coach has at the start of the year. This is what I got. This is what I got to work with, and we will either win or lose together.
Yeah,
So, excuse me, those are my five.
that's pretty good.
And finding Brother Otis,
Exactly. Come on.
Sister Otis out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, man, those are, when you really stop and think about it, especially when you think about the amount of time or years that when you go down your list, the number of years that are involved.
Oh yeah, it's a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a it's a way of life similar to the old pioneers in homesteading, and it's just what I try to do. I don't really consider it preparing for a specific thing, or
Yeah.
I just that's the way I live now.
It is. It's a mindset that it's a
Yeah,
lifestyle.
exactly.
Yeah. And once you get into
Like,
that lifestyle, once you get into that lifestyle, um, I personally think life is different, but life is more comfortable.
oh yeah, I mean,
You know,
you make some sacrifices here and there, but it opens doors for other things. It's not a burden to me at all.
I think you make better decisions.
Yeah,
You
I enjoy
know,
it.
it's funny how you know the Lord has a plan for each and every one of us,
He does.
and we've talked about that at length. And
Mhm.
it's really funny. Um, you and I got invited to a camp last fall in North Georgia for Uncle Stan, and your sister.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about
Right?
now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
And went there to teach classes. But honestly, I don't know if I've told you this, but honestly, I came out of there having learned a lot from personal conversations with Uncle Stan.
Yeah,
That really
my
piqued.
brother-in-law's he's a pretty good old boy. I like him.
That really piqued my interest and curiosity.
Mm.
And when you have time to go watch the interview with Dr. Elder on the First Church,
Yeah.
you'll understand why and tie it together. Why I'm going back and mentioning the camp last fall
Mm-hmm.
and the interview with her.
Yeah, that was when we went and did the Feast of Tabernacles, and we were teaching up in northwest Georgia. Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah. And actually, funny, and it may be a common thing that I didn't know, she just never comments, but one of the attendees there, who I've also been to their home to do a survey, actually watched a YouTube video last week and commented on it to where I could recognize the name of her comment.
Mm-hmm.
And and you know who I'm talking about, I'm sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll tell you sometime.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, man. Let me hear
Well,
your five worst.
let's do it. And I couldn't stop with just 5. I ended up doing 7.
You gonna admit to him?
No, I'll do it. And the very first one, my wife made sure that we got this one on there. Not staying organized from the very start, beginning of whatever project, journey, preparedness, whatever you're doing, staying as organized as possible.
Yeah.
Because that is my problem. I've got 27 things going at once and ain't none of them organized. So that's my number one. It makes everything else so much easier when you got it organized, when you got it labeled. I know where everything is, but it's going to take me a minute to dig it out. But if I had it all organized and separated and labeled, it would be so much easier, so much faster. And then if anybody else had to go find it, they could do it quicker. Because it ain't all just about me, no matter what my wife tells you. The second one is not getting the homestead property that I would prefer to live on earlier. We've been really working hard on where we're at now, but it is not where I want to stay.
Yeah.
And you know why?
Yeah.
But,
yeah. But there's reasons you're there.
Yeah. I'm making the best of it while I'm here, but we haven't found what we want and, yet. But the good Lord has told me it's out there. So we're still looking. He's going to show me. But you should do that as early as possible so that you can put all of your efforts into that. I ain't saying that things don't come along in life or you may have to leave that and start all over again, that you might not have, a natural disaster, whatever.
Yeah.
But to try and find that place, because everybody wants to bug in, they don't want to leave. But I want to be building and putting my efforts, my time, my money into the dream property homestead, where we're at right now. It's just, we've done a lot of work to the property, but the area around us, it is not what we need. So that's the second one. The third one, not doing enough research when learning how to collect and save the heirloom seeds that I tried to do. I tried it. It took me 3 different seasons to finally learn how to do it and do it correctly where they would regerminate. So I had 2 seasons of failures before I finally got the 3rd season right to where I could, and this was on multiple different varieties of plants. And it was my fault. I didn't buy the books. I didn't do the research. I didn't print out the information. I just tried to wing it.
Yeah.
And guess what? It didn't work.
Yeah.
So,
And that's why we say to always have at least minimum of 2
exactly.
sets of seeds
Well,
for
but I mean,
events like this.
and you should go ahead now while you have a resupply where you have room for error and you need to be practicing, which goes back, to some of my best things, because that was a good and a bad in this scenario, because I practiced, I tried it, I tried to, and I found out what failed. So it was a good and a bad. It was my best and my worst, but the worst part was I tried to just wing it and it did not work.
Yeah.
Number 4, and this goes with planting also. One year I got this wild hair. Okay, I'm gonna try and put weed fabric in my entire garden, and my garden's fairly large, and to try and eliminate some of the work with the weeding. And the weed fabric itself may not have been too bad of an idea, but I used those big landscape staples to hold it down. That was a mistake, because now I couldn't get it up. So finally, I have a tractor and I got a 7-foot landscape rake, and I got in there and I just dug all that fabric out. And then I went through one time with my plow, just a regular 7-shank general purpose plow, and turned the dirt one time because I'm afraid to drive back through it now for fear of puncturing my tires.
Yeah.
So I'm having to go out through there with a metal detector and try and get all these silly galvanized staples out. And I'll bet you money, I'll bet there's 800 of them in there. There's enough to fill up a 5-gallon bucket. So I'm not even, this is another year. I'm not going to get to have a garden. It's maybe a fall garden, but I'm trying to get all those out because daggum tractor tires ain't cheap. No. So I would suggest in that instance to do things on a smaller level when you're doing experiments. Because my garden is about 175 feet long, and I can get 25 rows in there on 3-foot centers. So it's every bit of a little over 120 feet wide. And that's a lot of daggum fabric and staples. But I should have done a smaller section first just to experiment with. So sometimes you should do some smaller experimenting and crawl before you try to run. My 5th one, I have a rather large rainwater collection system, and the pre-filter aspect of it has failed. So I didn't catch it soon enough that it had failed. So now I have some pretty big blockages that I'm trying to fix. That's been kind of a bad decision on the way that, because I built it all myself, but it's kind of the way I did the pre-filter, just it didn't work. So I'm having to redo that. And what I did was I have all of the gutters of my house, and I even went so far as when they were building my house, I dug all the ditches ahead of time, buried all the pipe, everything. It's all totally underground. All my big water collection tanks are all underground, at the low side of the house. There's 5 of them. But where it comes off of the gutters, the pre-filtering that I used, it just failed. And I should have been checking it sooner to catch that. So it's part of the filter that I made was a bad decision, and then the not doing the maintenance soon enough or frequently enough was a bad decision. And let's see. So, and I'm not going to stop right there because I got 2 more that I think are pretty good that we should bring up. Number 6, I had this house built by a builder, but I participated in all the decisions. I was here every day. So I didn't swing that hammer that many times, but I helped with a lot of the design and a lot of the work I could. And one of the things that we didn't do was I didn't have my wiring for my solar pre-wired into my house ahead of time. I didn't. I have two services and two breaker panels, and I should have had one pre-wired only for the solar, so that it could be totally separate from the other one in an off-grid situation. And knowing what I know now, I would have already done that. So in the next one, if I build another house from scratch, that will be one of the main things. I will take everything that I've learned as far as ballistic protection, energy protection, cold storage, everything. And I will have that already built into the plans when I'm making the house and the property, the outbuildings, everything, so that you only have to do it once, and so that it's kind of pre-made into your system to where it's the most efficient and the cheapest way possible, with the highest value. And then I have one more, number 7. And everybody probably has this one. Just the bad financial decisions that I have made along the journey of my life. Listening to others when I should have did my own research. I made a bad financial decision one time. My dad and my brother, we were all sitting up at my daddy's shop, and he's like, "Let's buy some stock." And I'm like, "All right, what kind of stock you want to buy?" Him and my brother are sitting there, and they're like, "Let's buy some dope." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, let's buy the marijuana stock." I'm like, "Well, that's not illegal." "Well, I know, but it sounds like it is. So we'll make money because it sounds illegal." And I'm like, "No, we won't," And I was very torn with it, but we ended up buying this one company, and this company got caught using illegal greenhouses, and we lost a boatload of money. And it was a bad decision. I let others influence, and then I didn't do my own research. And so and there's all kinds of bad financial decisions. That's just one of them. But I'm sure everybody has those. And so since then, I have learned to go a little slower, especially with investing or anything. If I'm going to buy a product, I always read as many reviews. If I know somebody who's got one, I talk to them. I try to borrow it if I can, or use it, or try it, whatever. And just try to be as smart about financial decisions as possible. It don't hurt to ask for help.
No.
We went and talked to a lawyer 2 weeks ago about some financial stuff. So it doesn't hurt to go get help.
Yeah.
So it's my 7 worst. I know you asked for only 5, but I threw 7 out there.
That's good.
How about you?
That's good, because you can't. It's just like putting together your community team. You're looking for different individuals who are vetted with different skills. And
because everybody can't do everything.
Yeah, so going to an attorney or a financial advisor, the only negative I have, and I don't mean this as a negative, but most financial advisors will try to sway you away from precious metals, because it's money. They want all your greenback coming into what that they can make profits off of.
And the good thing about this guy, he didn't do any of the investing for you.
Yeah.
He just totally gave advice about the plan that we were trying to put forth. He didn't enact any of it. So he was totally neutral.
Yeah.
And it took me a minute to find a guy like that.
So based off of your, then I'll give you my 5. Based off of your best list and your worst list, what would you say is, in your mind, what do you find is the most overrated part of preparedness?
What is the most overrated part? Most people think it's all rock throwers and rocks, but that is a very small part of it. I don't know if that's the question that you were trying to ask. I never know with you what you're trying to ask. You
Am
could
I
have seven. You could have seven different levels of what you're trying to do right now.
am I that
Um,
unclear?
no, I no. It's not that you're that unclear. I'm probably trying to overthink it because I know you. Um, I would think that most people are swayed by too much public opinion, and they're doing too much things out of fear, and they think that it's just like with rocks and rock throwers. They think that that's the solve all for everything,
Right.
but it's not. Having a way to resupply your supplies is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Well, next to your
Logistics.
faith, next to your faith, the faith is always first. But
What does Sun Tzu say in the Art of War is the most important part, even through current day in wars?
cutting off their resources.
Logistics.
Yes, yes.
Logistics.
What's the old saying? You fight a war on your belly. You know, if they're starving, they can't fight. So and not even just that's with everything. You can't function without calories.
Yep.
So you have to, and you can only store so many in your pantry.
Yep.
I don't care how big your pantry is; it'll only hold so much. So you've got to have a plan for resupply, and then you got to practice that plan. Because I'm here to tell you, if you don't collect your seeds correctly, they will not come up. I'm just going to tell you, I did it 2 different seasons, so that was 3 years before I would have had a zucchini, a squash, a tomato, a piece of corn, an ear of corn, or a sweet potato, anything to eat.
Sounds like you'd be eating a lot of soup sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly.
Water dipped
Hot
in
water.
bread.
Yeah, exactly. Some hot water and bread. Boy, that'll constipate you in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even then, my supply of wheat from our great CRS store would only last so long. You
Yeah.
got to know how to you got to know how to grow that.
Yeah, I was actually hands on my collection from that store.
Yeah.
Night before last, I was down going through some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good people.
Yeah, I like them.
All right, my 5 worst decisions made since starting preparedness or prepping.
Okay.
Number 1, believing I needed to get as far from civilization as possible. That was in the beginning. That was for me. And the thing that really got my attention was a line that Jonathan Hollerman uses, and that is, make sure you leave your ID in your shirt pocket so when they find you dead, they'll know who you are.
Or who to notify.
Yeah. Number 2, believing I needed lots of weapons and ammunition immediately before the basics.
Yeah.
Because I was transitioning, coming out of 20 years in the military, right? And everything was pretty much pow-pows and then the other.
Yeah, rocks and rock throwers, yeah.
Yeah. Number 3, failure to immediately build a threat matrix from a risk assessment to build plans around the area where I'm at right now. Now, part of that was because I was only here for 6 or 7 years, maybe a weekend or 2 a month.
Yeah.
Right, until the big C hit in 2020.
Yeah, because all of your commuting back and forth.
Yeah, but I did have, the first thing I did was within probably 2 years is I started building a security plan. Without faces. It was just about the terrain. Spent too much time early on listening and following recycled information from people most likely not in the know.
That falls back on doing your own research.
Yeah, and it was this was this was during the period that the president, whose name I wish not say, before
Yeah.
before the current president
Mhm.
in his first term.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, because it was there were so many things that were being put in place during those 8 years that we
Mhm.
are now seeing today.
Seeing the
The
effects after. Yeah. The after effect. Yeah.
yeah, and my fifth one, believing it would be easier than it has been to bring lessons learned from military years and applying preparedness to the mindset for civilians who never experienced the same things:
Mm.
disasters, war, collapses, famine, degraded cultures, and so forth, and uh, trying to figure out a way to teach preparedness and why it's important. And I wrote about a lot of this in the first book, but why these things are important. You know, the lady across the street who's a widow and she's 75, who may have been a nurse 30 years ago that has skills that when everything, the technology fails, in getting those skills out of her, making her feel important to share them with a group, right?
Yeah.
Um, Auto mechanics is one, not using all the machines to tell you what's wrong, or growing and planning without, uh, all the technology and the soil testers and stuff like that. But uh, so it's kind of been a learning process as well. And in I don't know if you remember back when we first started Thursday Night Zoom in 2020. We were doing it every Thursday night for like
Mhm.
two
I do.
years, like 2 years.
That was the good old days.
Uh, but the very, 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 very first topic that I focused on, do you remember what it was?
No.
It's something every community and every team has to have:
Leadership. Yeah.
leadership. And
Yeah.
for a few months, I even had a couple of folks, former Marine, and had some other folks come in as a guest
Mhm.
to talk about the importance of leadership.
Leadership and having a formal plan for within inside the community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it's at. I mean, more and more and more. I mean, my goodness, it's like almost every podcast I listen to now. When the host asks the question, so what do you recommend people do? And it's community, community, community. Even uh, um, the father and son from the Wall Builders, Bartons.
Yeah.
I was listening to an interview with them from the World Outreach Church in Nashville, Pastor Alan Jackson. He recently had the Bartons as guests. Community.
It is. It takes a village. You cannot do it by yourself.
You're not going to change Washington, D.C., man.
No, no, you're not.
You've got
Your
to,
local community, it's your 5 mile radius. You got to start at home and
yeah.
work it.
You don't put a roof on a house until you build the walls
Yeah,
and you have a
it'll be
foundation.
difficult.
Yeah,
It won't end up too good.
yeah, yeah. All right, brother. Any last offerings or points of wisdom?
Do not get overwhelmed and to
True.
not base your decisions off of fear. To
Yeah,
enjoy this journey
yeah,
and just make it a way of life that's your new way of life.
yeah,
It's not a horrible thing. It's actually fun. It's hard work. Don't get me wrong. It's hard work, but it's fun. I enjoy playing in the dirt.
Yep.
And I enjoy seeing what I can do, what I can grow. We were trying to do these little herb window boxes on our front porch. And we planted, we did all this last year. Didn't the first seed come up? They're coming up now. It took a whole year, but finally they're coming up now.
That's crazy.
It is. They did not bloom it. They didn't even break the ground last year. And we just left them out there. But they're full now. All the herbs are coming up. You know, so don't get overwhelmed. Do your own research. Listen to others who would know, and then practice. You know, you have to make the effort to practice.
Surround yourself with good people who can help you, not
That makes a
you.
world of difference. World of difference. And try and go to some schools. A lot of your expos that you can go to. I know you list some of them on the newsletters. So there's a lot of good places that you can go to, and they're very inexpensive. You can get whole, you get 3 days worth of training, and a lot of them for $100, and you can learn so much. One of the things that I have learned through this process, though, is we save our old flat phones, and we'll take those to take pictures with, because the classes are so fast, and usually they're outdoors, and you just can't take notes quick enough. So we try to use some type of phone or camera, something where you can help yourself do it faster.
Yeah.
And then you just make that, that device, that's its only job. And then you can use it later if you got to go back and look at it. I do that all the time.
I was driving.
Yeah, that would be my 2 cents.
I was driving last week, week before last, and I was driving by a church in another town in a small community. And I like to read the billboards out in front of churches.
Oh yeah, some of them are hilarious.
And this one said,
some of them, though, not to interrupt you, but we were coming home last weekend from a little trip we had done, and there was 2 different churches we drive by on the way home, and both of them had messages that applied that I needed right then in my life. The good Lord was talking to me right then. So it pays to read them.
Yeah. The sign said, God will not guide you on your plan if you're not willing to move your feet.
Exactly.
Preparedness is the same way.
Exactly.
If you're going to sit in your chair and flip channels and eat ding dongs and bonbons, and Twinkies, you can't.
You're not going to accomplish much.
Life is like a book. Your life is like a book, and it's full of chapters. And this is another chapter of your life in your book. But if you do nothing about it, it's going to be a really short chapter. If
you're not careful, it'll be a short book.
Yep. And I witnessed this a lot down in Huntsville. Folks love to get together and spend time together, which was perfectly fine, and break bread. And then a brother would put together a training class, maybe basic firearms or basic fire starting or just simple things, and people wouldn't show up. Mm-hmm. So it's the difference between followers and doers.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. You've got to do the sweat equity.
Yep.
If you want to get anything out of it, if you don't want to achieve, if you don't want to succeed, then don't worry about it. Just go on your cruise and don't do nothing. Yep. Or sit there in front of the TV and just do nothing. Eat your Twinkies.
Yep.
If you want to be successful, you have to put some effort into it.
Yep.
And that's with anything.
You can buy a Twinkie, and in 20 years your Twinkie's still edible.
Oh, I don't doubt it. It's probably got that much preservatives in it. I mean, you eat enough of them and you probably won't rot.
That's true. That's true.
Serious.
Use it for a boat anchor.
Exactly. Those survive a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah. All right, brother, I'm gonna let you go, man. I
All
appreciate
right.
you coming out on short notice. By the way, I like your hat.
Yeah, you like that?
I do,
That's
man.
one of my favorites. I don't know how good you can see it on.
Yeah,
I like it. I
yeah,
wear that a good bit. It's got a nice sweat ring in it.
yeah. It's a nice hat.
Yeah, yours is pretty good too. Wonder where you got it.
Probably the same store where you got yours.
Oh, okay. Same guy hooked you up.
Yeah, yeah. I took it off some dude coming out of the dollar store.
I hear you. We got to get together. I've got to get those books from you.
Yeah, we will soon, man. We will
Hopefully
soon.
next month.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, brother. You be
You have a
blessed,
good
man.
weekend.
You too. Have a good holiday. Give
All right, brother. Be
give
safe.
give the wife a hug.
I will.
All
Y'all
right.
be good.
All right. Take care. Be blessed.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And if you like this video, please hit like. And if you got comments, leave them down below. You can share your 5 best or 5 worst if you so desire. And if you hadn't subscribed, you can leave a comment as to 5 reasons why you haven't. Just kidding. All right. Be blessed and don't forget to give thanks. Bravo Echo out.